During this time po, no, as mentioned earlier niyo po, no, na we are more than a year into this global health crisis po. It's normal po to feel all of these emotions, all of these feelings, reactions. Normal po, Sir Sito, kasi talagang lahat po tayo nakakaranas po, no, ng symptoms or feelings of anxiety. Ito po yung parang pangamba, takot because of the loss of control, uncertainty of the times. In fact, Sir Sito, talagang we are not certain, or we do not know kung anong outcome or ano ang magiging, di ba po, ang kalalabasan po of this pandemic. And ang iba po, ang feelings naman po nila are frustration. So, normal po yon. Frustration, anger, irritability because of various issues po and concerns. So, it's normal po. That's why there is that parang line ngayon na medyo nauuso at narinig natin recently, no? It's okay not to feel okay during this time. Kasi all of our emotions, in fact, everything po, all of our emotions are valid given the very abnormal situation. It's the situation now which is abnormal po. Kasi ito po ay talagang it's a crisis. No? It's a public health crisis po. And it has been here for a long time already. Kaya di ba, Sir Sito, narinig natin na itong when we are here na ngayon in this new normal, quote-unquote po, marami pong mga bagong terminologies na which came out, no? New concepts which came out po during this time because of the prolonged na public health crisis po natin, like pandemic fatigue, cabin fever, and all of these po can really elicit po mga emotions po or itong mga iba't ibang klaseng reactions from us, which are again normal and natural because of the current medyo traumatic po, di ba po, Sir Sito? The situation which we are currently going through, maraming studies in fact, no? Globally po, marami na silang studies which look into what you mentioned earlier po na dumadami ang nakakaranas ng symptoms of anxiety, depression, distress, trauma. In the Philippines na lang po, meron ginawa sila Dr. Michael T. From last year po, no, it was published online, and it showed po, no, na among Filipinos, tumaas po, no, nagkakaroon po ng moderate to severe levels of that feeling po, no, of psychological impact brought about because by this pandemic po, tumataas ang symptoms of depression, anxiety, distress. Usually po among the youth, yung mga kabataan, females, and yung mga students po, and those on prolonged po na confinement in the homes. The statement from the World Health Organization is, there is no health without mental health. And really, we can see from that definition, that statement alone, na mental health is really very important. It's a component po of overall health and well-being. So, tama po yun. Kung ako po, I would, if my personal opinion is really, let's acknowledge that sometimes talaga po, no, we have our good days and not so good days when we feel low or extremely down or pressured po siguro or anxious, and pwede po nagkasabay-sabay, no? Siguro the heightened na rin po siguro the pressure to perform, etc. So, ako po, yeah, kasi if we push someone talaga po to do it, given those mental health concerns or issues, no, wala po kasi when we are going through something po, no, clinical po na disorder, nawawala the focus, affected po, cognitive processes can be affected physically, our physical state can also be affected po, nagkakaroon ng mga aches and pains, mga unexplainable po, no, ng mga somatic symptoms, nawawala po ang ating motivation, in fact, no, kasama yon decreased energy. So baka lang po, no, she might have been feeling all of these symptoms, cognitive, physical, emotional, behavioral, and these are all valid po na emotions. So hindi po siya arte-arte lang. Yun po ang lagi po namin pinapaalala na when someone po approaches us and tells us about all of these symptoms or feelings po, these are real, di ba po? For the person, these are real, these are very valid emotions, and let's acknowledge it. Hindi po sila arte-arte lamang, hindi sila drama-drama na para lang po mapansin or para po makapag-excuse sila, no? Para makapag-absent sa trabaho or sa school. But really, these are very important symptoms po na we need to be aware of para wag po silang mag-progress and wag mag-complicate into something po na which is preventable naman po, no, like self-harm, suicidal thoughts, etc.
Lahat tayo under pressure. We are under pressure to earn a living, kumita, mag-uwi ng pagkain, under pressure na wag magkasakit, under pressure na gawin yung trabaho nating maayos. Quick tips na lang, last 2 minutes, Doc Joan,
Opo.
quick tips para to at least be able to deal with all of this.
Yes po. Thank you po. Of course, quick tips po. Number one is really po to acknowledge all of our emotions po. Acknowledgement po talaga. Because when we acknowledge po na tayo ay natatakot, nalulungkot, or napapagod na, then it pushes us, it motivates us po to do something about it. So, nabibigyan din tayo ng lakas in a way, no? Namomotivate tayo to act on it, do something about it. Number two po, always we follow po yung biopsychosocial approach po kasi Sir Cito, our understanding of all of this. Psychologically po, biologically, make sure that you are physically healthy. Of course, health is wealth. Physical, kasama po doon, eat well, get enough sleep po talaga is very important. When we are sleep deprived, ang dami pong pumapasok sa isip, nagiging irritable, and it can affect almost all of the organ systems of the body. And psychologically po, kung ano yung mga nakatulong dati na coping skills, gamitin natin ulit ngayon. Kasi again, as mentioned earlier ni Sir Cito, this is our third ECQ now, and we've grown, we've survived the first two na ECQ. So I'm sure na we can do it again ngayon. And wag pong mawala ng pag-asa. Social support is very important. Reach out po. Mas maganda kung may nararamdaman po, tumawag sa crisis hotline ng NCMH or reach out to your family, friends, and loved ones po.